Hi, I'm Stephanie, and welcome back to Building Your Path to Success. On this channel, I like to share a lot of information in short periods of time for both high school and college students. I want to just jump on and share some information or give some food for thought about state colleges and universities. Not all people, but a lot of people like to go to big name brand schools. So I want to talk to you about the purpose or the reason that we have these state colleges and universities. The state that you live in often provide funding to these state colleges and universities so that it can make college more accessible, didn't say cheap, but more accessible to people, often working class, which is the middle class, um, people who are in certain socioeconomic brackets. Does not mean that other people can't go. It's just that it is there to make college more accessible. Now, yes, you could go to a community college, which is cheaper, but students who want that 4-year experience, this is often the way to go for a lot of people. I am in Pennsylvania, so we call those schools PASSHE schools. PA for Pennsylvania, State S, System S, Higher HE Education. Pennsylvania State System of Higher Education. And it's 14 schools in theory because, now some of them have merged, but we're going to talk about the 14 schools / campuses. And when we talk about the tuition fees, we're talking we're talking in general before we look at grants, scholarships. What is the ticket price to attend without all those grants and scholarships? Other states also have state schools. And like, again, this is where the money goes to make tuition cheaper. I'm going to hone in Pennsylvania. We have 4 state-related schools that also get funding from the state, but not quite as much funding as our PASSHE schools. So we call those state-related schools. And that's going to be Temple, Penn State, Pitt, University of Pittsburgh, as well as Lincoln University, which is one of the 2 HBC schools in Pennsylvania. So as we talk about HBCUs, we have Lincoln as a state-related school, and we have Cheyney University, which is a PASSHE school. So these schools often give students an opportunity to go to school. Now, let me go back. Yes, at times, a person from out of state can get in-state tuition at some schools sometimes if they're interested in a major that there is a shortage in. But generally speaking, it's to reduce the cost of tuition for students who live in that state. This is often a good alternative for some students. There's no one program or one way of thinking for everybody, but this is often a good way of a good opportunity for many students. For the PASSHE schools, most of them, not all of them, have what's called the Board of Governors. The Board of Governors, if you qualify, and this is going to be based on academics merit, not household income. This is a merit-based scholarship, which will cover the 4 years of tuition, but not the women board. And of course, you would have to maintain your end of the bargain by maintaining your grades. Some of the state schools are calling that board traditionally called Board of Governors Scholarship, a presidential scholarship. If we look at our PASSHE schools again, and I mentioned there was one PASSHE school that's at HBCU, that would be Cheyney University. This is the only PASSHE school that has a true 4-year ride for our Pennsylvania residents, and that means tuition women board. This is a merit scholarship. It's not based on household income. Some scholarships Scholarships should be based on merit or an ability, but we have begun to intertwine many words and based on household income should be grants. So if you are looking for an opportunity to go to school on a full ride and you live in Pennsylvania, and you may have other options, um, Cheney with the Keystone Scholarship is a good option because if you attend Cheney or Lincoln, University of Pennsylvania, because there's two Lincolns out there, and you maintain that 3.0 GPA or higher, you have an opportunity to apply for what's called the Bond Hill Scholarship. I'm getting off track, but I need to throw this in here. And the Bond Hill will allow you, if you're a Pennsylvania resident, to go to medical school, law school, get your doctorate, get a master's at one of the PASSHE or state-related schools, depending on what those schools offer. So if I wanted to go to medical school, I'm going to be looking at Temple, Penn State, and Pitt. If I want to be a podiatrist, I'm going to be looking again at those type of schools, or or a pharmacist. These are opportunities that are often overlooked for students going for big name brand colleges. I'm not saying big name brand colleges, or as we call tier 1 colleges, are not good. What I'm saying is that I'm looking for opportunities to share with you. Sometimes we have to look at transportation. Are you close to home? Are you going to be able to get home financially? What are you looking for in a school? So all these things are important, but if you live in Philadelphia or if you live in Pennsylvania and you're getting ready for college, I'm just letting you know, do not disregard our 14 campuses or schools that fall under PASSHE. It is an outstanding opportunity. Each one is different. Look at what you're looking for. Look at your GPA. What do you want to study? Programs, because there's one for everybody. Again, doesn't mean you have to attend, but if you are going to the 12th grade for the fall of 2023, and you're going to be applying to colleges, my suggestion is to apply to 2 or 3, or at least 2 or 3 PASSHE schools. You can apply to more, but I always suggest applying to 2 or 3 on the front end. Apply to all your colleges early, and find out, what offers you may get. It's just a suggestion, especially if you are in a true middle class. A lot of people say, oh, we have University of Penn, we have Penn State. Oh, University of Penn is going to look at your EFC. If your EFC is $20,000, yes, they're going to say, okay, you can afford that first $20,000. But if you are a single mom, maybe you really can't afford that $20,000. On paper, you can, but can you really afford it? So my goal is for people to go to school, learn all that you can learn, participate, but you do not want to be like a dry sponge and get to school and absorb all of these loans. Because when it's time for you to get a house, they're going to look at your income to debt ratio, and it's really going to impact you then. So, and there was also a study, I'm going to throw this out there, that talked about Fortune 500 companies. And while some of their CEOs came from Ivy League schools, not even half, look at the research. So it's based on a lot of different things. Be the best you could be no matter what school you go to. Learn to separate yourself from the pack. I talk about that a lot. I talk about internships, REUs, opportunities. Those are the things, in addition to your great GPA, they're going to help to propel you to where you want to go. Not the name of the school always. Now, sometimes it might, but be the best you can be. You will be great. But if going to school is either getting a lot of loans or going to a PASSHE school, if I'm just saying, if you want to skip past the community college way, there's nothing wrong with community college. I'll do a whole episode on that. But if you're in 11th, if you are a rising senior, I'm just going to say, look up some state schools so that when you get to school in September, you already have 2 or 3 state colleges and universities that you're interested in applying to. And for us people in Pennsylvania, that's going to be a PASSHE school. Good luck and take care. Until next time, look up those PASSHE schools.